Can you hear
What's
me?
up?
How
I
are
can
you?
hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. How is everything?
Very good. Nice to talk to you again.
It's good to see you again. It's been a while. Well, not that long.
I don't remember when the last time was.
It
I
was,
know that there was the last time, but
yeah, it was a couple of years ago. I think just before the you guys did a tour with Maiden when the previous record came out, previous
oh
studio.
wow. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's
Wow.
been anyway. The last couple of years have been crazy for you guys. Two tours with Maiden. Guys played Wacken, which must have been a dream come true to, finish the night in the festival. How are you feeling about all these last couple of years for Lord of the Lost?
I feel it's since we're doing these interviews now, especially you were talking about Wacken for the release of the live album, I should say for Wacken. Everyone mentions in interviews these particular things like Wacken Maiden tours, Eurovision,
Yeah,
and these things were all very close to another. Three of them being in 1 year,
yeah,
um, and it's hard to comprehend sometimes because we know what we've done before that, and we also know what we will do after it. Um, this was a huge amount of events that were and are incredible. And yeah, I'm still processing. So uh, I the first time I looked at the Wacken footage, I was like, oh, I did not know that it looked like that. I mean, you don't see it how it looks. You're on stage, and that was yeah, all those things. Now looking back at photos from playing in stadiums with Maiden was I still look I still look at videos that I took in Athens in the Olympia Stadium when Maiden was playing and they were playing Fear of the Dark. And I still think and I still have to remind myself that I actually was there
yeah.
and did that. Yeah.
Is it, let's talk about like the Eurovision, which is something different and it brings like a bigger audience to you guys. Was it easy to deal with all that, media? Because I work in Eurovision when it was in Portugal, and it's very intense. It's for everyone, for the artists, for who's working there. People might think it's all, glitter and fun, but it's a lot of work. How did you guys dealt with? I mean, you guys obviously in a band you had the experience of doing media, but it's very intense to do Eurovision. It's a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's right. We are experienced in doing media and yeah, being exposed to a big amount of people. And however, I just give you a number now of interviews that we did, and you can imagine how actually tough that was. We did in 2023, and the majority of them being in Eurovision time. So like these 3 months from the preliminaries to the final. Overall, we did 900 interviews, 902, I think. Obviously, not every one of us all the time, but still, we were until this point we were five people in the band, and even a fifth of that is a lot for a year. And the majority of them being in these 3 months of Eurovision madness. And I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to interviews now because I haven't done them in a while and I actually like press work. But then, back then, it was tough. it was really tough because at some point when you're saying over and over, you're saying the same things over and over again because everyone from all over the world wants to know the same shit, right? And you can't fault them for that. I mean, it's their job. To know us. But at a certain point, you zoom out and you see yourself in the room, and you can hear yourself talking, and you know what's coming, and you know the next question. Um, and yeah, that together with the amount of attention and actual work, because we had like days that were from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Um, that was really tough, and I think we are about to recover from it fully.
Yeah. Because obviously, guys, being from a rock and metal universe, going into Eurovision, which is, you know, absolutely different. I, when you were asked questions, most of them, did you realize they have no idea who we are?
I mean, everyone had no idea who we are. They were when we were telling them stories like, "Oh, you know this band Iron Maiden. That's the metal band they know because they are huge." Yeah, we told them we are on tour with them. We just came from a South America tour, going straight to Eurovision. And we've been a band for 15 years. And this was all very, very different to what they would experience when you're being asked what you do. Like, because they ask all these, pop stars or up and coming pop stars that were either big in the game already, but in pop world, or very new and very fresh. And they have no back catalog of albums and tours and traveling and media. It's very different. So a lot of people were very surprised that we are kind of, yeah, seasoned in a way.
But for me, ever since Lordi won that year, I think it kind of opened the doors for rock metal bands, and we see the Nordic countries really not worrying about putting a metal band there, while when you see the Southern European countries, like Portugal, Spain, they still go for the very traditional kind of.
Yeah,
You know, I
that's true.
I think it's good to have like the diversity now in Eurovision musically, because it was just like I remember watching with my parents back in the day, and they still had the orchestra and the arrangements like that, and it was all pretty much the same. But now it's a different beast, and like see stage with pyrotechnics and all those screens, it really can, open up for a different universe for whoever goes there. I think it's a great opportunity. And going back to Wacken, I've been to the Wacken back in 2001, 2002. Was already big back then, but now it's huge.
Yeah.
Being from Germany, was that like a really bucket list um, check that you guys did, headlining or deadlining Wacken?
Um, what is the question? Sorry, I didn't.
If it was like on the bucket list
Oh
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Sorry. Wacken always. I mean, we played there in 2015. I wasn't in the band back then. But we played on some side stage, like I think the smallest stage, in front of a few people while Judas Priest were playing. So you can imagine the turn up. Um, yeah. And this time, I mean, we were deadlining, sure. We were playing at midnight, I think. I think. Can't remember. Maiden were playing as a headliner. After them played Vadruna, and then we were playing. Still, though, the people that were in front of stage was, I don't know, it was still 40,000 or something, which is quite impressive at that time after all this rain and mud and stress. Because Wacken last year was a bit hectic, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, it was. amazing. It was really amazing.
The year I was at Wacken, I think it was 2001 or 2002. I did like 3 years in a row. We
Mm.
back then we drove from in a van from Portugal to Germany. So
Nice. Yeah, cool.
it was a couple days travel. And one of the years on the first night, it was called a night to remember back then. There was like a storm warning, and they actually had to take, the whatever is covering the side of the stage and the back of the stage. They had to take all that down because they were expecting strong winds, and they were
Mm.
afraid if the winds hit the stage would just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were like, "What are you going to do?" Like we're in a van, like in the in the camping. If the
Yeah.
storm hits, what are you going to do? It was at the end. It wasn't that serious when the storm. It was like a lot of rain, obviously, but it was a great experience. But I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it. I think a lot of people that were there last year, they at least learned some lesson that if they didn't bring rubber boots, they will bring rubber boots now. Well, I mean, it gets more and more during festivals that they just drown in rain and mud. I mean, some people will deny that it's climate change, but I'm not too sure if that's not climate change. I guess almost every festival in Germany this summer had like some sort of heavy rain,
Yeah,
and that says something. And it started the years prior. I mean, even in 2016, I think, um, the Hurricane Festival, good name. Um, it's also a bigger festival in Germany with like 60,000 people. It's a bit more also rock and metal, but also it's everything.
yeah,
It's a very much festival. And they were drowning. I mean, they were tents like just flowing away, and you couldn't do anything. You woke up in water, and back then already they had severe problems, and we are witnessing this with almost every festival until now. So
yeah.
it's interesting.
For me, I normally like to do like one or two summer festivals, and as I told you, I did Wacken. I normally go in August to England for Bloodstock. I haven't done that in a couple of years now, and here in Portugal, it's almost safe to do a summer festival. I think
Yeah,
it's easier to get a fire than to get rain anyway.
which also sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, true.
But for me, I if it's an indoor festival, I think it's safer. I mean, the experience of obviously like something like Wacken or Download in England as well, you know, it's a great experience. But I'm just getting too old for mud and rain. I admire, especially when you go to work there, with cameras and stuff. I ain't doing that anymore. No more. I don't care. It's not safe. England, Germany, there's time of
Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine actually does camera at Wacken for one of the stages. He's like doing the live stream for Magenta TV and T-Mobile stuff. And they last year they arrived already on Monday and setting up and they were contemplating just leaving because it was the worst ever.
yeah.
So I can totally feel you.
Yeah. And for Lord of the Lost to read Maiden, how important was that for you? Because you came from a sound like even with Judas, which for me it's your best record to date,
Thank you.
personally. And I think you guys creatively, I think you guys did the best work there. Everything on that album is perfectly done. But
Mhm.
and Maiden being that traditional heavy metal band, how was for you guys to do that to Read Maiden? Because it's known that any band normally that opens for Maiden is either pelted with something, people turn their backs to the to the stage, people just scream for Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We heard these stories as well, and I mean, we didn't know what to expect. We knew that these things can happen, and we should mentally prepare for that. That people actually don't care about us, which would be okay, I guess. Um, However, and that says something about the Maiden crowd and about Maiden being Maiden. They are very, very original metal, like textbook, if you will.
Yeah,
Not in a bad way, and it's not that they're standard, but you know what I mean. Um, and choosing a band like us, which is very, very different, it's it shows how they know their crowd. Because that's actually what Steve told us. Because we were asking him the same question. We were asking him, "What did you think? Did you think it would work? And, that we won't get bottled off stage and stuff?" And he was like, "Nah, I know my crowd." And we were like, okay, yeah, I guess you do, because we didn't experience any of that. We weren't pelted off stage. We People didn't turn their back on us. I'm pretty sure that not everybody in every arena or stadium liked us, and there were even people in the front row which get in early and are like these hardcore fans that travel everywhere. There were people among them that let us feel that they aren't listening,
yeah,
which is fine. Um, but then you are also not the people who we are playing for, you
yeah,
know? Because if there's we mainly, what it was so important for us to do that, because we've never played these stages before, and we were the smallest part on that tour. We were a very, very small thing. No, it wouldn't matter if we were there or not
yeah,
for that tour to be successful. And if you realize that and have that be part of your attitude, so you show gratitude towards everything, and you just accept things like they are, like time being short, and you have 1 hour for setup and line check and makeup, and then it's your show.
yeah,
Those are severe things that you have to face, and for that matter, it was really, really important for us to prove to ourselves and to Maiden and to the fans that some of us maybe liked us, and to prove ourselves that we can do that. And it gave us a lot of confidence pulling that off and actually being successful with it, because we got a lot of people from there.
yeah. And obviously, when you see the Maiden Circus working, and you see how they're, all how everything is set up. What did you learn from it, and what do you think you can bring to Lord of the Lost, that experience from seeing how the Maiden machine works?
A lot. I can start anywhere and end somewhere else. I mean, it's like ants. It's like an ant pile, you know? They go into arena or stadium, and I mean, we arrived when the stage was already set up and stuff, and they had two stages, because one has to be played and one has to be set up somewhere else, or they rented the stage or something. And just the setup, and just it's just technical things that you learn, how they do stuff, and how you can be smart and fast. So we had to learn how to be fast on that tour, with setup and tearing it down as well. And looking at the Maiden crew tearing a stadium show down in 1.5 hours, that is quick. That's really quick. And yeah, you learn a lot, and obviously the professionalism and how to carry yourself backstage as well. Um, so you're actually more a fly on the wall than a loud person. That is something that is really, really important, I guess, for the future as well. If there's ever to come another tour. And I mean, there came a second tour with Maiden, just because we were the people we were,
Yeah,
at the time, because as I said, we were the smallest part, and we were very aware of that, and we were thankful for everything and tried to do our best not to be in the way
yeah,
and deliver a great show for everyone.
yeah.
Work.
And I I sent you a message on Instagram during that tour because I was in Paris for the show, and
Yeah.
I was so pissed off
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't
Oh,
let
I
it, that they didn't let us photograph neither you or Airborne for that matter. We just were allowed in for Maiden, and I was just messaging the French promoter. I was like, I want to photograph Lord of the Lost. I'm here as well for them. And she was like, we don't have permission yet. I was like, how do you don't have any permission yet? I gave up after anyway because there was nothing I could do. And I'm never going to France again for a show.
well, saves
I
your travel money.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was happy in the end because it was a great show for Iron Maiden, but I'm not the guy that goes there just for the main band. I like to see the support acts because even though I knew Lord of the Lost and Airborne, I want to see the show as well. And it's important to do that work, you know, because I was photographing and writing for the magazine. And for me, it was important to write about Lord of the Lost and Airborne. And I was just so annoyed with that. So, France, yes, for the Louvre, no for concerts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry that you had that experience. I I would not know what to do.
Yeah.
Also from my side, I was there. I remember reading that and I was like, yeah, what do I do? I don't know. I'm,
You
I'm
know,
not in charge of anything. I can't go to the promoter. You have to let this person in. They will look at me and be like,
yeah.
who the fuck are you?
I was
Yeah,
just, because I just wanted to try to understand if there was, like an order or something for that. But I understood it was a French thing at the end. And when I talked with other photographers, they said that normally they only do the main band. So, you know,
okay.
I was like, okay, so I get it. I'm not coming to France ever again, but I'm going to Germany again in October for Powerwolf and Dream Theater. So I hope they let me photograph the support bands.
Yeah. Oh, where are you in Germany then?
It's going to be Berlin.
Yeah.
I'm staying there for a few days because Powerwolf is on the 18th or something, and Dream Theater is on the 21st or 22nd. So since I've never been to Berlin, I'm just going there to, visit the city, museums, all the history, and
Mm,
attend those shows. So, yeah.
nice. Yeah, I'm going to the Powerwolf show in Hamburg.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Seeing how this band is working in like an arena. It's like 17,000 people.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's crazy how much they have grown in the last few years. They played Portugal, when they released the first or second record or something, and they were nothing like they are now. And to see them playing arenas now, and that's why I want to go see them in Germany because I know it's big shows, and
Yeah.
I want to see like a proper Powerwolf show because I've seen the footage, the live videos, and
Yeah.
they are just insane live. So,
It's a great show. We played I think 4 or 5 shows with them last year in fall. Um that was that was cool. That was really cool.
it's a great show. And, going back to Lord of the Lost, you guys have been very regular when it comes to making music. Um, with such a busy last couple of years, are you guys working on new music yet, or you're just going to relax a bit?
We scaled down playing shows this year. We play only like 50 or something, not like last year. Only 50 to actually be able to write. So we are recovering, I think, and relaxing a bit. However, we are already in the making of a new album.
You can expect
Yeah.
that next year.
Yeah. I can already say that. It's been said in interviews. Like, yeah. So we
Very
are in the work for a new album and I'm really, really excited. The deeper you get into the process, the more excited you get. And it's again something that really, really excites us. So you can bet on it that it's something new for us as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
it, and I'm really looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. You guys have been, evolving musically as well, and you don't make the same album twice. And can we expect something a bit different musically, or are you guys going, to try to bring back something from the past, or you guys just move forward musically and whatever comes out comes out?
I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel at some point, and it's our ninth regular album, I think. So there still is a lot to be said and a lot to be done differently, and things that we want to incorporate. And it's not going to be a Blood and Glitter 2 album or anything visually, something very different as well. So it will be, in a lot of ways, judging by the demos that I know and that we have, it's, for my understanding, when I try to look from a fan's perspective, it's very Lord of the Lost, here and there reminiscing about old times, but very, very new.
Looking forward to that.
Me too.
It's always good to be surprised anyway. And, you know, with a band like Iron Maiden or let's say AC/DC, you know what to expect. But it's
Yeah.
nice to see a band that, you guys from Judas to Blood and Glitter, it's like polar opposites. Imagery wise,
Yeah.
well, black
Completely.
and white to all these colors, which, you know, I'm looking forward to see what you guys can do next, because I think with the tours that you did with Maiden, the exposure you got from Eurovision, I think there is a lot of expectations. I don't want to put any pressure on you guys, but I think there is a lot of expectations now from you.
Yeah, probably. Um, we don't necessarily feel that pressure that's coming from outside somewhere, that we, I don't know, should write another number one record, or I don't I don't know. It's, if we write music based on that, we kind of know what works. However, that's not necessarily what we want to do. And if we write an album just to lighten the pressure and just to, yeah, appeal to people having expectations now, like certain expectations,
Yeah.
and we'd be very sick of it very quickly, I guess. And we don't want to be that. So I get that there could be pressure, and that there are expectations also from like business partners and stuff, a label or whatever. Still, we are the most important people making our music.
Yeah.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
So I don't feel the pressure.
No, that's good. And just to wrap it up,
Yeah.
you guys are on songwriting mode. Lyrically, you guys have a concept in mind, the idea which direction you want to go. As I was saying, image is something that's very important to you guys. You guys do that really well. Um, have you guys thought about it, what the next step is going to be? Without, if you have, don't have to say anything, but have you guys thinking about a concept for the album?
Yeah, of course. We already did during Blood and Glitter. I mean, not during Blood and Glitter, but during last year, we were talking about it and thinking what we should do next, and that it should be very different to Blood and Glitter, because we said everything we want to say with Blood and Glitter and max the looks and everything, and we're okay with what that is. And but everything was said there about that, so it's very different to Blood and Glitter again. And I'd say it's, no, that is something that everyone says in like an interview, but it's our, actually, in a way, our darkest music, from what I can tell now. That's all I can say.
Okay, we'll finish up with that then. Well, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Lord of the Lost for this live release. I'm looking forward for the next record as well. Got me intrigued. Let's see how dark you guys are going on the next record.
Let's see, we're not done yet.
Well,
Cool.
I won't forget about what you said now. So when the album is out, we'll see if it's that dark or not and what
Sure.
changed then. All right.
So we'll talk then.
Thank you very much. Have a great day and hope to see you soon. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.